Europe's Ariane 6 rocket is set for its first launch on July 9, 2024, from Kourou, French Guiana, after a series of delays since its initial target in 2020. This launch is crucial for Europe to regain independent access to space following the retirement of the Ariane 5 and the cessation of Russian Soyuz launches. The Ariane 6 program, costing €4.5 billion, aims to launch satellites into geostationary and lower orbits. Despite criticism from Elon Musk for not being reusable, Ariane 6 has secured 30 missions, including deploying Amazon's Kuiper satellites. However, EUMETSAT's recent switch to SpaceX highlights the competitive challenges ahead. Europe's new Ariane 6 rocket is set for its first-ever launch next week, carrying with it the continent's hopes of regaining independent access to space and fending off soaring competition from Elon Musk's SpaceX. After 4 years of delays, the European Space Agency's most powerful rocket yet is finally due to blast off from Europe's spaceport in Kourou, French Guiana, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on July 9th. After the struggles of the €4.5 billion program, Europe's space industry has been nervously observing the run-up to the launch. A wet dress rehearsal late last month ran through all the launch procedures, right up to the moment before the engines ignite on the launch pad. It went very smoothly. Like a Swiss watch, ESA Space Transportation Acting Director Tony Tolker Nielsen said, adding that there was nothing to call the launch date into question. Ariane 6 will put satellites into geostationary orbit, which appears stationary by matching Earth's speed at 36,000 kilometers above Earth. It can also launch constellations a few hundred kilometers up. The rocket's upper stage, powered by the Vinci engine, ignites after takeoff to place satellites in orbit before falling into the Pacific Ocean, a special feature to prevent space debris. Ariane 6's first launch will use 2 boosters, with a more powerful 4-booster version scheduled for liftoff in the middle of next year. However, the boosters and other parts of the rocket are not reusable, unlike SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. Billionaire Musk has repeatedly criticized Ariane 6 for not being reusable. The European response has been that it would not make economic sense for the rocket to be reusable because it was designed for far fewer launches than the Falcon 9. The rocket will initially carry out 9 launches a year, a far cry from the Falcon 9, which managed 14 in May alone. The rocket's inaugural flight will carry 18 different smaller items, including university microsatellites and scientific experiments. Its first commercial flight is scheduled for later in 2024, with 14 more planned over the next 2 years. One positive for Ariane 6 is that space business is booming. The amount spent on launches, satellites, and other parts of the space economy is projected to surge to $822 billion by 2032, up from $508 billion last year, according to consulting firm Novaspace, but this has not yet been enough to make Ariane 6 profitable. The financing for the first 15 launches has been secured, but the ESA's 22 member states have agreed to subsidize the rocket for up to €340 million a year from its 16th to 42nd flights, in return for an 11% discount. However, just days before the inaugural flight, Europe's weather satellite operator EUMETSAT cancelled plans to use the European Ariane 6 in favor of SpaceX's Falcon 9, citing exceptional circumstances. Philippe Baptiste, head of France's CNES space agency, called it a very disappointing day for European space efforts. Faced with such stiff competition, the challenge for Ariane 6 will be to survive in a market that needs rockets, Ariane Group CEO Martin Sion said. After all, Ariane 6 is Europe's sovereignty launcher, he added.